Hello everyone, this is Shell Point Today for Thursday, April 30. I'm Dan Philgreen. On today's show, we'll hear from JEANINE Hammond about an upcoming assisted living presentation. And we'll have some more entertaining highlights from this year's variety show. This time, more music, as well as a segment to get you laughing. But first, we want to remind you that today is the final day of the annual School Supplies Fund Drive. This is your last chance to help out the children of our hardworking Shell Point staff as they get ready to return to school in the fall. Contribution boxes are located at either service desk, and you can make out your donation checks to Shell Point and mention school supply in the memo line. Also, don't forget that tomorrow is Friday. That means it will be time for the Friday Marketplace in the administration courtyard on the island. From 8:30 to 11:30, you'll find fresh produce, organic eggs, baked goods, baskets, jewelry, crafts, and more. It's a great time to support local vendors and socialize with your fellow residents, so come on out. Now, you ladies will want to save the date, as they say, in your calendar for the Mother's Tea and Vintage Fashion Show coming up on May 8th. It will be at 2:30 in the Grand Cypress Room at the Woodlands. The cost will be $5, and sign-up begins tomorrow, May 1st. All this week, we've been showing you scenes from last week's variety show. So now it's time to show you yet another. This time, we want to get you laughing with a skit from the popular duo of Paul and CAROLYN Peterson. They always ensure a good laugh as they perform during their segment of the variety show, and this year was no exception.
Some peace and quiet without Morty.
Well, finally, it stopped raining.
Wait a minute, kids. Before you go running off, you need to clean your room. Your Uncle Paul is coming for a visit today.
Uncle Paul is coming today?
Uncle Paul.
I'm so excited.
You mean he's back from the Galapagos already?
No, he was not in the Galapagos. Who goes there? He was in South America. He was in South America, and he was looking for the last Temple of Doom. He always tells the best stories. I can't wait.
You mean the most far-fetched stories?
Morty, you really need to learn some respect.
All right, well, it's Paul Peterson, ladies and gentlemen, with a little bit of family history.
Yeah.
Good evening. I'm Rose Donnelly. Welcome to Long Dust.
It's been a long morning, hot morning. My brother and I wanted to play golf, so we decided we'd play 9 holes. Our house is just off the 9th hole. We started playing, and before that, I said, you better put some guacamole and off on because you're going to get bit by these terrible flies. But he didn't want to, so we started playing. When we got to the 7th hole, he was so bit up, he was bleeding all over his face. And about the 3rd time he was trying to chip out of the 7th hole, he fell over, found out he died. So we live on the 9th hole. So for the next 2 holes, 2 bags and Dragon Seymour till we got home. Oh boy, when we got home after a few minutes, I remembered seeing an ad about the $65 funeral. So I looked where you were, and I got on the bus and came down here.
Where did you catch the ad?
TV Guide.
Thank you. We like to know where our trade comes from. I'm afraid I will have to intrude on your grief by asking you a few questions. What was your loved one's name?
Seymour Laszlo Freen.
Is that hyphenated?
It was.
And what was the loved one's address?
12652 Walloon, Huguenot Walloon Drive, Kennebunkport.
May I ask your name, sir?
Charlie.
Charlie. Is that Charles Laszlo Freen?
Yes, it is.
Charlie, I'm your grief lady.
Well, no, that'll be $25.
Well, now that will be $65.
Oh, thank you. There's the check for that.
Oh, Mr. Charlie, before you go, would you be interested in some extras for the loved one?
What extras?
Well, for starters, how about a casket?
Isn't that part of the cost?
No.
Oh, well, I guess we have to have a casket.
Yes, it would look much better that way.
How much will that cost?
Well, we have three prices, $2,249, $868, and $21.95.
May I ask what those prices represent?
Copper or bronze, oak or nubby plywood.
What kind of an appearance does nubby plywood make?
Cheap.
Oak, I guess.
Thank you very much. I'm sorry to intrude on your grief again, but tell me, how did you intend to get Mr. Freen down here?
Well, I don't drive. A cab, I guess.
If you do that, you'll have to give an enormous tip.
Oh, I see. You don't happen to have a hearse, do you?
Yes, we do. For $75, we can give you the use of our beautiful black slumber wagon with windows.
All right, here's the $75.
Now, what about someone to drive it?
That's not included. I can't drive it myself. I'm stuck again. Man alive, you're milking me here.
Have you planned to bury Mr. Freen?
Madam, that was foremost on my mind.
Do you have a plot?
No, but I'm sure you do.
Yes, but there are two prices, $800 for a church plot and $450 for the town graveyard.
Forget it. Tomorrow's Earth Day. My gardener and I will dig the hole, and you bring the body about 2 o'clock, and we'll put him next to his pet cats, Puss in Boots.
For those residents who are on a waiting list or planning to move to assisted living, Resident Support Services Manager JEANINE Hammond talks with RITA Southern about a new kit they have put together for you. Often this can be a stressful time, filled with so many questions. This new kit can help and make the transition smoother. You'll be able to pick up one of these kits as well as talk to a case manager at a special upcoming presentation as explained by JEANINE.
Hi, I'm Rita Southern. I'm the Director of Assisted Living and Resident Support Services. I'm joined today by JEANINE Hammond, our Manager of Resident Support Services, and our case managers. JEANINE, we're here to talk about a new presentation and information that you want to share with some residents.
Absolutely. We have a great new kit that we've put together for people that are planning a move to assisted living. It's the Assisted Living Move Planning Kit.
Wow, what a great kit. Tell us a little bit about it.
Absolutely. It's going to be a great tool for residents that are in the midst of planning to move to assisted living. If they have their name on the waiting list and they're asking themselves, what do I do now? This kit is going to help them answer those questions and give them a guide to move forward.
So much stress happens during that time, so many questions. People don't know where to turn. It sounds like you've put together a helpful amount of information.
Absolutely. We've been doing this for quite a while, helping folks move, and we've really taken a look at what are those questions that come up that people are wondering, now that I put my name on the list, what should I be doing? Where do I begin? So we've taken all that information and put it together in this kit so that the residents will have something to refer to. And also there's going to be parts in there that they can share with their families, because a lot of times families are wondering, how can I help my loved one as they're embarking on this process?
Sometimes we don't think about those family members that live far away. They're busy talking on the phone and they don't always know 100% of the information. So you've included pieces for the family members as well.
Absolutely. We're going to include the phone numbers for the case managers and the resident relations representatives in assisted living so that they can get in touch with folks that they need to. If they have questions, they'll know who to contact. Everything from a move checklist to a suggested packing list so that people can plan the right things to bring with them, because that age-old question is, what do I bring with me?
So how can residents get their hands on one of these kits?
The case managers will be doing a presentation and handing out the kits on May 7th at 9 a.m. at the Arbor.
Wonderful. Very good. And they have to call to RSVP, reserve a spot?
Yes, we do have limited space available that we can accommodate for the presentation. So we're asking residents to call Pat Cunningham at 454-2299 to register an RSVP.
Very good. So I encourage you as a Shell Point resident, if your name is on the assisted living wait list, to come and take advantage of this opportunity. Talk to the case managers, pick up one of those move assisted living move kits, and spend some time talking about all of the ins and the outs of how do you move to Kings Crown, the Arbor, or the Springs.
Absolutely. We're very excited to get this in the hands of the residents.
Very good. Thank you all. We'll look forward to seeing you then.
And now, for the lighter side of things, we thought we'd present some more talent from this year's variety show. When it comes to great singing, why, there's none more melodious than the four-part harmonies of the men's quartet. Jim Davey, Ken Nesselroade, David Nesselroade, and Tim Stephenson reminded us of the greatest friend we could ever have in this delightful number.
What a friend we have in Jesus.
by Grace Salone Quartet, ladies and gentlemen, accompanied by Randy Woods.
And now it's time to cover all of today's happenings, menus, and Village Church connections.
Hello and welcome to the Happening segment of Shell Point TV. I'm Caitlin Van Scoy and happy Thursday. Don't forget to check your mailbox because the Shell Point Life is delivered today. Here are the events for today. At 7:15 we have a Health Connections class, Bend, Breathe, and Balance in the Health Club. We have 8 a.m. Men's Golf Association meeting at the Shell Point Golf Club. Pickleball will be played at 8 a.m. at the pickleball courts. And also at 8 a.m. we have round robin doubles tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. The Paddlers Club will head out for their weekly outing, leaving from the kayak storage at 8:30. Samba the card game will be played at 9 a.m. That'll be in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. Shuffleboard will be played at 9:15 at the Shuffleboard courts. And at 9:30, current events will be gathering in the game room of the Woodlands. 9:30 is the time for a ladies' match play tennis at the Woodlands tennis courts. And at 9:45, we have Introduction to Beginning Line Dancing in the Health Club. From 10 to 12, the photo gallery and studio will be open for viewing. And at 10:15, we have Basic Line Dancing in the Health Club. The Susie Q is headed out at 11 o'clock to Rum Runners or Fathoms, and you do need to sign up for that. We move to the afternoon for Mahjong at 12:45 in the Library Lounge. And at 1:30, we have a Health Connections class, Aqua Pilates Stretch in the LifeQuest Aquatic Center. Finding Joy will be gathering in the Manatee Room at 1:45. And from 2 to 4 today, the photo gallery and studio will be open for viewing. 2:45 is the time for another Health Connections class, Balance and Mobility Training Level 2 in the Health Club, and that's currently full. The seamstress will be here for her weekly service at 4 o'clock in the Osprey Room. 4:30, we have court dinners at the Crystal for Eagles Preserve. 4:30 is also the time for Alcoholics Anonymous meeting in the Sable Room of the Woodlands. Pinochle will be played at 6:30 in the Library Lounge. And our last Thursday activity is the Trailblazers Bible Study at 7 o'clock in the Game Room of the Woodlands. Well, thanks so much for joining me today. I'll see you right back here tomorrow.
Menus for Thursday. In the Crystal Room, the Crystal Platter is beef burgundy with egg noodles and broccoli. The dinner special is the Crystal Carving Board for $13.95, and the soup of the day is navy bean. In the Island Cafe for lunch, the special is a mile-high hot corned beef sandwich with coleslaw for $7.25. The dinner special is meatloaf with mashed potatoes and green beans for $8.25. Dinner specials in the Palm Grill are ribeye for $19.95, or almond and parmesan crusted sole for $17.95. All menus are available 24 hours a day at www.shellpoint.net.
Welcome to Village Church Connections. I'm David Pavey, an assistant pastor. King Saul in the Bible named his daughter Michal, which is a boy's name in our culture. So let's use the French feminine term, Michel, for the sake of the next few minutes. The Ark of God was being brought to Jerusalem. The city gates were lifting up their heads to let the king come in. King David, with all Israel, was swept away in ecstatic celebration with music and dancing. But Michal was not in the crowd with her husband. She stayed home. And the Bible tells us she despised him in her heart. Michal was the archetypical wet blanket. What a contrast! David was full of joy, Michal was full of scorn. David was dancing, but Michal could only criticize. Theirs was what the Bible calls an unequal yoke, if ever there was one. She was all pride, he was emotion, the agony and the ecstasy. His meat was her poison. When Michal, sneering and scornful, watched from the palace window as David leaped and danced before the Lord, she despised him, displaying her father, King Saul's terrible tendencies to jealousy and anger and hatred, while Jesse's son David worshipped the Lord his shepherd. So when David returned home to bless his household, Isn't that a wonderful term? It's a biblical term. He returned home to bless his household. He was met by a pillar of ice. Feline Michel unleashed a volley of sarcasm that could quench the enthusiasm of a saint. How the King of Israel has distinguished himself today, she snapped, trying to ruin the greatest day in his life. Now the wife must respect her husband, wrote the New Testament Saul. And David might well have added to that instruction, the wife must be sure that her husband doesn't have to leave home to find his best friend. Quite right, we respond. Michel is a mirror for all cold, selfish, proud, unspiritual, unsympathetic, wet blanket wives. And so she is. But wait. But wait. In our day, Michel speaks most loudly, not to the women, but to the unequally yoked men amongst us. Because it is most often the husbands who are the cold, selfish, proud, unspiritual, unsympathetic, wet blankets. They are the ones who sneer and snap at their emotional, worshipping wives as they go to church, despising them in their hearts. And when the wives return to bless their households, it's the husbands who kill their joy with a single shot. So let's not lay too much blame at the feet of Michel before examining our own hearts. Both men and women need to heed the warning. The wife must respect her husband, you say. True enough. But remember this also, the husband must love his wife. And thank you for tuning in to Village Church Connections.
Be sure to watch again tomorrow as we hear about a new technology support specialist who has been added to Peterbert's support services team. And we'll take a look back at the top stories from this week. Until then, this is Dan Filgreen for Shell Point Today for Thursday, April 30th. From all of us here at Shell Point TV, we hope you have a wonderful rest of your day, and we'll see you again tomorrow.